So you've decided that you want to change your geography, your industry, your function, everything, what we call the classic triple pivot. I have to tell you something. It's becoming more and more uncommon to be able to do this, even if you do a advanced degree. So you could do a master's, an MBA, thinking that this will allow you to do all these pivots. But the market is not as easy as it used to be earlier. So in today's video, I'm going to break down how do you do multiple pivots in your career and then see how to make that happen. Hi, my name is Shub Pojdar. I'm a Singapore-based job search strategist and career coach and a former corporate recruiter. I'm the CEO and founder of JobsMe, Job Search Made Easy. I am also a LinkedIn top voice, so please do follow me there. And I've recently launched my public Instagram account. Please do follow me there so that we can build a community together. I release 2 videos every week, one deep dive like this one, and a short one, less than 2 minutes for a quick, actionable nano tip. So let's talk about your triple pivot or multiple pivot. You may not want all 3 pivots, but you might want to change your function and industry completely. So change the nature of your work totally. My biggest advice to you is rank your pivot priorities, meaning instead of going at them as all 3 at once, think of which is the biggest priority to change right now. Is it the geography? For a lot of people, that is, they may have family which is elsewhere or a split family, or they've just decided they want to build their life in a different location. So if geography is your biggest pivot, start with that. If it's function, you don't like doing the day-to-day tasks, then start with that. If it's industry, you don't like the kind of products, services, or people you're dealing with on a daily basis, then industry pivot is what you are looking at. So let's start with the easiest one. Industry pivot, I find, is one of the easiest pivots to make because you know the market knowledge, because your functional skills, meaning your day-to-day core job skills, are not changing dramatically. This is the easiest pivot to target. Unless, unless, unless that's too much unless, but let me just say it. Unless you are in a very specialized industry where your core function is done differently compared to other industries. But even then, I find industry pivot one of the easiest pivots to make. If that's what you're looking at, it's not really a career change, it's more of a job change where you're open to other industries. Now, I have a fantastic AI prompt resource. You can go to my website and download it under the free resources called Target AI Prompts, which can tell you what industries you can look at depending on your experience and the kind of skills you bring to the table. So start with the industry pivot. Very easy. If your first priority is location, then my big advice to you is to see if you could make an internal move happen. See, location pivot is very much dependent on geopolitics. It's not only about you as a person, it's about the immigration laws which the country has at that point in time. Having said that, usually internal moves are a bit more easier compared to others. Even if it takes 1 to 2 years to make that move happen, it will be way easier unless you have a distinctive advantage on knowing some skills which the government of that country is focusing on. So, and the locals don't have that skill. So for your geography pivot, try for internal move first. If not, then you need to do the networking bit, really understanding what's your value add for that particular market and being hyper focused in targeting on that instead of spraying and praying to all kinds of roles. And the final pivot is the function pivot. Now, function pivot is a little bit more tricky. Again, the easy step is to do a functional pivot in your existing organization. So if you are looking at moving from one specific day-to-day role, functional skill to another one, try if that move can happen in the organization. That may be tricky as well. So now you see how difficult it gets. If your organization, where you worked for a while, is hesitant to make that pivot, it's very difficult for an organization where you haven't even proved yourself at all. So, my advice would be if a pivot cannot happen, try to see if you can take any stretch assignments in that particular skill. Again, you don't have to be in that stretch assignment for millions of years. See, companies hire to minimize risk of you leaving fast. Once you've done the role, actually done it, instead of just thinking of it as, oh, I would be interested in it, they know that you would stay in that role for a while. So if you've done stretch assignment, even if it's a short 3 to 6 months assignment, and you build a good narrative around why you want to move your function, then it becomes easy. And then at the same time, start looking for people who have made a pivot into that function. If it's similar to your pivot, meaning where you are, what you're doing right now to where you want to go, fabulous, because those people cannot deny that this is possible. But even otherwise, if they've been from a different function but moved into that particular function, those would be the easier people to target because, again, they've done it themselves. So they are a little bit more encouraging for you to make that pivot as well. So again, pick and choose your highest priority pivot. Activate that. Try the easier route if that's possible. If that's not, for whatever reason, then try to find people who have done a similar pivot and start building network, asking them for advice, asking them for their connections who could be helpful. Once you've done that pivot, stay in that role for a few months before you start actively pursuing the second pivot. And then you do it the third pivot. I'm right now working with a long-term client who came to me with a similar question. I want to change everything about my role. Last year, within a matter of 4 or 5 months of us starting to work together, he was able to make a location pivot. But he changed his companies because his existing company did not have a very big presence in that location. So he changed company, but at the same level, doing similar kind of work in the same industry. Now he's looking for a functional pivot, and he's been with this organization for almost a year. He started talking to people in his functional choice to see how he can get some exposure, any stretch assignment, how he can make that move happen while also building his connections outside. So hopefully that would help him. And once he's done that, he would then target industry. So it may happen over the course of 2, 3 years, but it is concrete. And every step of the way, he's making a pivot closer to his dream role. You can assume that you will be able to make all 3 pivots and spend a couple of years just trying to do that at once and then start this exercise, or you can start doing it now. The choice is yours. So I hope this is helpful to all my career pivoters. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. Go make an impact.